Alright, so we're live, we're ready, we're roaring to go. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. This is RPL F2. We're in round 6 of the season. We are at the halfway point of this season. We are in Portimao. And we are ready to go for round 6 of the championship. And we have a full grid as well. For those that are wondering, this is Ironwolf on commentary today, as we'll be kicking it off with one-shot qualifying. So as these drivers are going to be scrambling around to get the best position possible to kick off for this event, let's go over with last week's festivities. So last week in the sprint in Silverstone, that race was won by FRT Flaw, becoming the first ever F2 winner in his career. Luke wound up getting second, and George was third place. And then in the main race, the feature, the winner of that one was Luke, securing his 80th career victory. Bourbon was in second, and Jacksta is sitting in third. In the Drivers' Championship, we have a new second place runner. Jack still holds the lead, 103 points, but Luke has invaded the second place spot with 72, and Tadpole is sitting in third with 66. And in the Constructors' Championship, it's a tie. ART and Dams are tied for the lead with 156 points total, and Campos is very closely chased by Charus, 80 to 72, as Jacksta sets the pole position by 0.04 of a second over Bourbon. So this is our group for the... So this is what our feature is going to be looking like. So it's going to be Jacksta and Bourbon making up the front row. Blade and Luke making up row number 2. Flaw and Jack making up row 3. Adam and Egg making up row number 4. And Fanflo and Kieran making up row number 5. And speaking of which, Kieran is going to be the pole sitter for the sprint race. And Jacksta, who got pole for this race, he'll be starting in 10th in the sprint. So we are now getting ready to fire it away for the sprint race, and we will be waiting on the field. So let's get the lineup done very quickly before we set things off. So row 1, Kieran and Fatflow, Egg and Adam making up row 2, Jack Flaw making up row 3, Luke Blade row 4, Bourbon and Jacksta row 5. As row 6 we have Valkyrie and Cryptic, Wavy and FBL in row 7, Leighton George making up row 8, Mythic Sam Steve making up row 9, and then the back row it is going to be Ads and Tadpole. Now, I believe, yep, the 5 lights are going to come on to start the sprint race. And it's lights out, and away we go. Good launch by Kieran, with a good launch by Fanflow as well. As they head off into turn number 1, we have a almost 3 wide, looking to go into turn number 3 as Jack heads off onto the outside and gets past Adam, who's up in the 4th place. Egg jumps himself into 5th place. Luke had a bit of a poor reaction, is down in the 5th place spot, being challenged by Egg, and contact between Flaw and Egg, and both of them fall to the back of the field because of that spin. And now we have 3 wide, heading into turn number 5. My goodness, but Egg goes for a spin in his first race back. The season 10 F2 champion, not looking too good after getting tangled with a former driver. Oh, we got heavy damage here from somebody. As cars are just ghosting inside each other. That's Weavy, George, and Cryptic all ghosting up inside each other. And one of them did get severe damage as Fanflo just inherited the lead from Kieran, and looks like more trouble all over the place. As Kieran gets the lead back from Fanflo. Fanflo trying his best to try to go for a first win. He did have it in Spain in the feature race, but fortunately he couldn't keep it because he got a quali ban. He had a quali ban which he ignored and is up into there. But anyways, he's right in alongside with Kieran. I think he's gonna have to back out. No, he's not. He's gonna commit, and they are making contact. Oh boy, that to go, and there goes Jack with it, and there goes Luke as well. And that's the end of Luke from that collision between them. Now Fanflo did commit to the corner, to the attack in the turn 1. Now there wasn't any. I did not see Kieran go off the circuit. He was within the track limits. But unfortunately, that is the end of Luke there. Jack, unfortunately, involved as well. Don't know if he's got damage to that car, or he has some side damage to that car. I don't know. Yep, there he is. There it is. Damage to the right side, and just a big gangled mess, to say the least there. But anyways, Fanflo does inherit the lead. Kieran falls to 9th place because of that, and want to get a penalty because of that collision. My goodness, what a mess and a half. What a mess and a half there, to say the least. But anyway, so so DRS is now enabled, as looks like, oh, Cryptic has crashed too. And so is Kieran. Kieran's off too, collects, and Kieran's off in there too with Cryptic. And that is going to result in a virtual safety car. Whoa, Wavy trying to go into the pits, and Kieran just pops out in front of him. That might be a bit dangerous on Kieran's part, and he is retired. He's out. And so is Wavy too. We did catch that incident between Fanflo and Kieran. Fanflo was committed to the attack. Did commit to the attack in the turn 1. We're back on the way. We'll have to wait and see on what happened. There between those two. But anyways, off on the way we go. So Cryptic is out, Kieran's out, Luke's out, Wavy's out. 4 drivers out. And off we go into the corners as Valkyrie is challenging Jack. Now remember, Jack is pretty damaged from that collision between Fanflo and Kieran. So Jack is unfortunately, yeah, he's not having a good moment, that's for sure. As Egg, by the way, is looking to challenge. George to get himself into the final point position as Bourbon and Fanflo are fighting through turns 1, 2, and 3. Let's go on board with Jaxa, who's also got Blade as well involved. Looks like Sam C's gone for a spin out of turn 5. Looks like we got even more trouble. Looks like Flaw and Jack got tangled together on the map. But like I said, we're on board with Jaxa as Bourbon is fighting with Fanflo to get into the lead. He's on the outside. Fanflo keeping it held together on the inside. Bourbon doing a little shoving to see if he can try to get into that lead. Much love to have that lead back, and he does. But Bourbon takes over the lead from Fanflo. Jaxo up is in third place with Blade right behind. Here we go. Looks like another fight again. This time it's Fanflo on the outside, and he gets ahead. And there goes Bourbon again, looking to challenge again into turn number 3. Boy, Bourbon gets a penalty for going off. I don't. Now the argument could be made that Fanflo drifted up and forced him off, possibly, but that may be looked at if the incident is submitted. But that was unfortunate for Bourbon to get himself a 3-second penalty because of that. And Jaxa is up in. Oh, man, looks like Egg has gone for a spin, and he has reset the track, so that is going to be a, well, by looks of it, that is going to be a 10-second penalty, and 3 penalty points coming his way. Now, let's see, let's go back a little bit. We have George, by the way, hunting down ads. This is for the 7th place position. Now George is in the high tech. Especially since high tech. They're currently 6th in the standings, trying to chase Carlin down. Which, ironically, that's the car that Ads is in. He is in the Carlin as well, just like his teammate Valkyrie. Valkyrie is also in the Carlin, who just got herself into the 3-second penalty mark, and she's actually caught up with the front 5. Another person we should know also, Tadpole, by the way, started dead last in this race. He's up into 9th already. So, Tadpole has gained 11 spots so far in this Grand Prix race. So, now Valkyrie, by the way, just wants to get herself, see if she can go further up, as Adam just goes for a little slide over there, but Valkyrie is still hanging on. Valkyrie's still hanging on, Adam's still hanging on. Now, Valkyrie, by the way, once these penalties go into effect, Valkyrie at the moment is going to remain in the 6th place position. However, in Bourbon's case, he is going to fall to P5. He is going to fall into P5, and he is going to be, yeah, he is going to be there as well. Looks like, oh yeah, there's a little damage on Adam's car too. Just noticed that the end plate is gone on that high-tech car. But so at the moment, Bourbon right now with that 3-second penalty, he has got to gain, let's see, by the looks of it, about a second in order to clear Adam, because right now he is 0.6 ahead of Fanflo, 1.2 seconds ahead of Jaxta, 1.7 seconds ahead of Blade, and about 2.2 seconds now ahead of Adam. And as you can see, that leaderboard right there as Leighton goes onto the attack against Mythic. Get back to that. Let's go to them. There is Leighton on the inside. Whoa! Little contact between Mythic and Leighton. And Mythic now has to settle back into 11th as Leighton is staying in front as best he can. Oh boy, a little bump with FBL. But here comes Mythic again, trying to get down onto the inside. Looks like FBL has gone for a slide on the main straight. Mythic gets ahead, trying to get ahead, and Fanflo's now into the penalty club. for exceeding track limits too much. That one is out of turn 5. So the exit of turn 5 is really catching some of these guys off in regards to track limit warnings and penalties. Anyways, there's Flaw trying to harass Mythic to get himself into 11th place. Mythic gets the tighter entry and stays ahead, just barely against Flaw. Here comes, but Flaw is looking to try again, but just can't seem to get it done right now. Anyways, let's go back into this group. Now, at this moment, right now, with the penalties taking place, Jacksta is looking to be net P1 right now. 1.5 seconds behind as FPL goes off the track. But yeah, Jacksta is looking to be the net P1. Blade looking for net P2. And Adam right now in net P3. But he's gonna have to stay within 3 seconds of Bourbon, or else he will lose that chance for a net P3. Which at the moment he's about 7/10 still within range. And now Az has got himself into the penalty club. This time out of turn 1. So this track is really catching him off. Leighton in there too. So turn 1 and turn 5 is really catching these drivers off in regards to track limit warnings and penalties. Now, 3 of their drivers, so 3 of the multiple drivers into the penalty box, that's for certain. But now let's take a look at our leader drop now. And unfortunately, Adam is now out of range against Bourbon. And now he's got to have to worry about trying to keep 4th active, because right now he is 2.6 seconds behind Fanflow. And that lead, and that gap is starting to increase. Meanwhile, battle for 3rd, by the way, but this is actually going to be the net win right now between Blade and Jacksta. Now, Jacksta is a past winner in RPL F2. I believe. Let me just double check. Yes, he is. He is. Before Flaw, Jacksta was the most recent winner this season in RPL F2. He would love to get himself a 2nd win. Blade, by the way, is looking at his very first. He'll become number 67 if he can get past Jacksta. Meanwhile, look at the leader gap. Now. 2.7 seconds between Fanflow and Adam. It looks like FPL has gone into the pits. He is retired. He's done. And that is the end of FPL. That is our 5th retirement of this Grand Prix. So we had Luke and Dams, Cryptic and Trident, Kieran and Virtuosi, Wavy Campos, and FPL in Van Amersfoort. So 5 drivers, at least 1 each in all 3 academies, have a retirement. Meanwhile, now Tadpole into the penalty club now, as Blade is just trying to hunt down Jacksta to go for the lead. And now, speaking of which, now Adam is now going to be finishing in 5th place no matter what, because he is 3.7 seconds behind Bourbon and is now 3.3 seconds behind Fanflow. So Fanflow is looking at 4th place. Bourbon is looking at 3rd place. But for how much longer though? Because Bourbon is only 5/10 away from clearing Blade to keep 2nd. But there's only 2.5 laps to go. There's under 2.5 laps to go. Can it be done? I mean, Bourbon, the Season 11 F2 champion, would love nothing more to get himself another win. He is a winner in the past. Bourbon is a winner in the past. Currently massing 10 victories in his F2 career. But he would love nothing more than go for it. And he is now out of range. He's now now Blade is now officially out of range to get second place. And that's because Bourbon is just setting fastest lap at the fastest lap at the fastest lap. 3 straight fastest laps for Bourbon. Now comes the big challenge. 2.3 seconds separate Bourbon from Jacksta. Can Bourbon get 7/10 over a lap and a half distance? Now, at this moment, as we're looking at it, as we just caught George and Tadpole battling it out in the background. Now, Tadpole does have that 3-second penalty, unfortunately, so George is going to get net P8 back. Just has to play it smart and careful for the last lap or so. That's all George has to do is just play calm and chill, and he's got it. Whoa! And that's a lag spin on Leighton from Flaw. We did see the lag. And Leighton going spinning. I mean, that's not on Flaw's part. There was some lag on Leighton's end, and that's why he went for a wild spin. Whoa! George goes wide off the track. I think did Tadpole force him off? Well, that was close. And George now not happy. He wants to seal the deal to get that last points position as we're in the final lap now. As well, George is just trying. Nope, now he's in the penalty club now. So now Tadpole is going to keep that position. Flaw's now saying, hello, I'm going to take part in this now. And he slingshots his way up into 8th place now. And Tadpole and George are fighting it over. Now George is saying, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm getting past you. And he does get by. He does get by now. And by the way, as we go a little bit further on, let's see, Bourbon 2.6 seconds be ahead of Jacksta. Fanflow right now 2.5 seconds ahead of Blade. So looks like it's gonna be Jacksta that will win. Bourbon will be second, and Blade will pick up a 3rd place finish. So that is there, as well, Blade just cut the track, gives us a 10-second penalty. But anyways, he is going to cross the line to claim a win. Now he's going to cross the line in first. That's Bourbon, Fanflow there, but Jacksta will claim victory. Bourbon will be second, Blade third, Fanflow fourth, Adam fifth, Valkyrie in sixth, Ads in seventh, and here comes Flaw. He will settle the deal to get himself in the last point position of 8th place. George, valiant try to get 9th, Tadpole in 10th. Wow. That. So Jacksta claiming his second win of his career. What a win there, but it is Jacksta with his win There's Bourbon in the second place spot. Fanflow in the third place spot. And that is there. So great work to Jacksta to get his win. Wonderful job. So there we go. So, well, we couldn't get the piece to show because I guess apparently it took like 30 freaking minutes for anything to load. But anyways, we're about to go lights out and off we go for the feature race now. As Bourbon is milling their way into turn number 1. Here we go. As we head off into there. As the drivers are piling on in, getting themselves into place. There's Fanflow ahead, battling with Adam. And gets up into 7th place. Kieran, by the way, not a great run for him. Falls into 12th place. And bump and bonks and whoa, that's what was that? That was Valkyrie getting rammed and sent off, I think. But we're gonna have to look at that over again. But good reaction by Bourbon. Gets up into the lead. Jax is up in there. Whoa, what the heck? That is egg crap getting in the cryptic, and Tadpole unfortunately gets into the incident and has no wing. What in the world happened there? We just saw him come down the hill, all of a sudden we just saw Egg and Cryptic just going off, and then Tadpole nowhere to go, gets involved and loses his wing. Tadpole's run is pretty much done and dusted. But anyways, as these guys are filing in to get their first lap in, it is Bourbon, Jacksta, Luke, Blade, Flaw, Jack, Fanflow, Adam, Valkyrie, and Wavy. Uh-oh, there goes Kieran off and hard into the wall. And that's not good on him. Not sure what the heck happened to him. Looks like the rear end just went completely evil, or did he have help? Or did he get help? I don't know, but also, more drivers having issues. As, looks like Leighton just went for a spin there. Same with Kieran. Kieran just went around again this time. Both those guys spun in turn number 5. And FBL into the pits, and he's out. So FBL, first out, was one of the guys out in the sprint race, and is now unfortunately out in the main race as well. So FBL, not a good race for him tonight. Anyways, we're on board with Fanflow as he's hunting down, and chasing down Jack. This is for the 6th place position. And off we go into there. as the racing is kicking off. There's Jack, by the way, was getting on board with him. So on board there. I'm not sure what Kieran's doing over here. He's just lollygagging by the looks of it. But had some issues in the opening lap. And what in the world is he doing? We're going to have to keep an eye on this, to say the least. Off and spun into the wall he went. Wow. And Kieran off into the pits and he's out. So Kieran out of the event after a bad lap 2 really messed him over. So here we go. As these drivers are filing into place, DRS is active. As Jack is in pursuit of Flaw. Deciding he's gonna hold off and wait. Whoa, Fat Flo got a little ambitious. But one going wide out of turn 1. Gets back onto the circuit and lost a bit of time to Jack behind. Board with Fanflo as he's got Jack ahead, Flaw there, let's go to his backside. There's Adam and Valkyrie right behind there. And speaking of which, we have a fight for the 10th place position between Wavy and George, the Campos against the High Tech. That should be interesting there, as Wavy is just trying to see if he can get himself into the last points position, but now he can't. He's having trouble wanting to get past there, but he's also got Ads right behind as well. He's looking to vie for a position as well. Meanwhile, Wavy is there. Let's go a little bit further up towards the back to where we were beforehand. Flaw being hunted down by Jack. Jack is actually way closer than last time. He goes down the inside into turn 1, and Jack keeping it there. Flaw goes a little wide, but tries to retake the position back, and Leighton off into the pits, and he's out. So Leighton done as well, and Jack just can't seem to get past. Can't seem to get past Flaw. There comes Fanflo as well. He's thinking maybe I could go for two and a 1. Decides to wait and is now going to be dealing with Jack. We're on board with Adam. We watch Fanflo and Jack battle it out side by side. Fanflo trying on the outside, but Jack keeps that low side and stays ahead to maintain that sixth place position. And, oh, Flaw's gone off. Out in sector 2. And that's going to bring Fanflo and Jack even closer. Jack thinking of a shot on the inside. He does see a shot on the inside, trying to go for it, but can't seem to make that move stick. Jack is still behind. Still behind Flaw. Now he's going to have to try again to see if he can try to get himself into that 5th place spot. Fanflo was thinking maybe I could try to get past Jack to get myself into the 6th, into up there too. Here we go. As he's battling there, and Flaw in the turn 1 loses not 1 but 2 positions, trying to battle it back against Fanflo. Fanflo muscling his way to try to keep ahead. Little tap between Flaw and Fanflo. Little tap again as Flaw tried to rejoin the circuit, and Flaw, unfortunately, before turn 1, was in before turn 1 as Wavy has gone for a spin. That's out of that. He was in 11th trying to foul George, but now he's out of that. Anyways, Flaw, by the way, was in 5th before turn 1 and almost lost 7th going into turn 6. And Wavy, well, he's been disqualified. Parked in a dangerous location. Guess he was trying to reverse and get himself back over, but it was like, the game was like, nah, you're done. Ah, you're done. You try to reverse, you're disqualified. Get lost. Anyways, back towards the front. Jaxa, harassed by Luke. Now the front 3, by the way, these are all Red Bull drivers. These are all Red Bull drivers. Bourbon Dams, Luke Dams, Jaxa Prima, and Luke. It puts himself into the 2nd place position, and Jaxa now in the 3rd. And now Fanflow's in the penalty box for exceeding track limits too much. That's an unfortunate moment there, and it looks like we have someone around. Oh, that was Adam. Adam spun out from the 8th place position and lost the 8th place spot to Valkyrie. So Adam falls to 9th place, and Fanflow does get past Jag, put himself in a P5. Now some of the drivers that are on the track, they have actually, we almost forgot about the tire meshes here, as Egg and Mythic have gone off the soft tires to go onto the medium tires. Now George and Valkyrie, they are also on the soft compound tire, which means they are going to be pitting pretty shortly, probably within like the next lap or so. Now that's going to mean that all the other guys ahead, all the others, they're on the alternative strategy, going from medium to soft. Now these guys are probably going to be pitting, well, on the lap counter. It says 8 of 19. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the first driver of the medium tires come in at around lap 12. I'm thinking right around lap 12 is when we're going to start seeing drivers coming in from the medium tires. That is the possibility. Anyways, Blade chasing Jaxa down to get himself into the 3rd place spot and to deny a all Red Bull podium. Now Blade joined RPL a couple of weeks ago. This is his first F2 foray he would like to have himself into a position of good racing. Oh, we'll have to wait and see on what's going to happen here. Now, speaking about with which, some of the drivers that are actually here, they are actually going. We are looking at some drivers into certain positions. So, we do have some drivers that are moving around to different academies, and also teams have been selected. Right now, we have 3 teams with complete groups. And Valkyrie is actually pitting early. She's pitting. Oh wait, no, she's on the softs. I'm sorry. And so is George. So the soft tires are in. The soft tire runners are in now. So that is that. Anyway, so we have 3 teams that are complete for next season, which will be the first season of F2 on the F123 game. Now, this man, Flaw, along with the guy in 15th, Tadpole, they will be making up the Campos team. So that is team number 1 that's complete. Team number 2 is Carlin, which is Ads, who is currently racing in 9th place right now in that car. But also Bourbon, who's racing in Dams right now. Bourbon is set in the Carlin team next season. And the last team to have a team made for the next season, that is going to be the ART team, with Jack, who is running in 6th place, and Beatnik will be rounding out in there. Other drivers that have teams already solved. Lando Norris, a prominent Tier 2 driver, is racing in the high-tech F2 car. Term is going to be in Dams. And then, with a team set to be determined, as the Dams cars have switched between Luke and Bourbon. So Luke is going to inherit the lead. And looks like we have a problem. That is Sam Steed spun out. And that is in turn number 13. In turn number 13. Meanwhile, Blade Hunt still pursuing Jacksta to try to get into third place. Now the last ones, we have 3 drivers that are signed to Ferrari Academy. Now those 3 drivers are Valkyrie, Liam, and Mythic. Those three are going to be in the Ferrari Academy for F2. But as for a team, that has yet to be determined. Now, here we go. It's Blade muscling his way. He's going like, hey, Jacksta, you held that third place for too long. I want that third. Move over. And Jacksta's going like, you want to get by in third? You're going to have to fight me for it. Well, actually, Blade's decided, nah, I'm going to go into the pits. I'm going to make my move. And Flaw's doing the same thing. And Luke's in the penalty club for exceeding track limits too much in turn number 1. Oh boy. Well, like I said before, turn 1, turn 5, that's gonna get a lot of these guys. No doubt in my mind. Anyway, so Blade pits from 4th place, Flaw pits from 7th place, and they are the first ones to to pit from their medium tires onto the soft tires. But now the question is how will the other teams react? Now, I'm gonna say probably, now with Dams being 1-2 and being close together, if they pitted, I'm probably gonna say probably Luke will be the one that'll pit first, and then Bourbon will go after him. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll have to wait and see on it, as Ads, by the way, is in pursuit of FGE Adam. And, we have looks like a malfunction in Mini Straight. That is Egg that had a malfunction. Tadpole's there. And yeah, I called it. Luke is in. Jackson's decided to come in. Fatflow, Jack. Let's see what else happens. Yep, Ads is going in. Adam is staying out. Bourbon is staying out. Let's see what Cryptic is Cryptic going in? No, Cryptic is opting to stay out. So Cryptic, FGE Adam, and Bourbon have opted to stay out on the circuit. And Luke is coming out, and he is going to come out into the 4th place spot. Jacksta's coming out ahead, just ahead of Blade, but Blade, whoa, boy, Blade was like, whoa, hello. Blade was a little caught up, but manages to get past Jacksta. So the undercut Blade did on Jacksta has worked. So Blade with a successful undercut on Jacksta. So that means Blade, well, I mean, depending on the timing, I think Blade could be net P2. It just depends on how Bourbon is, and he is actually in now. So Bourbon is in. Oh my goodness. And Bourbon spin the pits. Oh my goodness. Well, that's gonna. Oh my god. Even Adam's been the pits too. Are you kidding me? Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, that means, oh boy, so that means Bourbon and Adam have 5-second penalties to deal with. Actually, I'm not sure what happened with Adam, but Adam got held up somehow. Egg has gone for a spin. Jacksta being chased, as actually Jacksta gets past Blade again. Now Blade is like, oh, I'm gonna try again. See if I can get myself into that position. Anyway, so Bourbon is now over 2 seconds behind Luke. Egg has gone into the pits. He is out. So Cryptic is the only guy yet to stop. He has the lead right now, but he is gonna have to stop pretty soon. Now, meanwhile, so Blade. So right now, with the penalties as they are, so unfortunately, here's the thing: Luke is looking at the win right now because Bourbon got a 5-second speeding penalty. Now, yeah. So Luke is looking at the win. Jacksta is sitting in second. And Blade is looking at third place. Bourbon is going to fall to fourth. And that's where he'll stay. So, yeah. So then fifth place looks like that's going to be Jack. Fanflow will be sixth. And Flaw will be sitting in seventh place. Well, speaking of Jack, as Cryptic's now in the penalty club for exceeding track limits too much. Anyways, Jack is chasing Flaw down. He's going like, I don't want to stay too far behind. I probably would like to get myself up some points, please. And speaking of which, Fanflow has caught Blade and Jacksta. Now, I think in Fanflow's case, he probably would like to get past Blade and Jacksta. Because he wants to get some, he wants to have some separation room against Jack. Because right now, Fanflow 1.7 seconds ahead of Jack, which is not enough to keep that net fifth place. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Anyways, more drivers are getting some track limit penalties. Little snap of oversteer by Flaw, but that's gonna bring Jack in pursuit. As Bourbon sets the fastest lap, there goes Jack on the inside to seal the deal for that 6th, 7th place spot, and he does. And Flo thought about sneaking a move on Blade to get himself into 5th, but just can't seem to get close enough. Maybe not. Better, looks like almost a near better exit. Oh, little slide on the exit of turn 5. Blade plants himself firm as Fanflow digs deep into the inside to try to get by. And Luke is taking the lead from Cryptic, who is still yet to stop. Cryptic is probably going to be like, yeah, I might have to pit, but I don't want to go too long. So I'm not going to see myself in the points. Fanflow is trying to get past Blade, get there. Whoa, another snap. Not close, but just can't seem to get close enough to Blade to warrant a shot as Bourbon gets past Cryptic now. And anyways, so now at the looks of this, let's see. So right now, Jacksta, 4.1 seconds behind Luke. Currently 3 seconds behind Bourbon, so Jax is still in that net. Is still in that net P2. Blade, though, unfortunately, might see himself out of a chance of 3rd place. As right now, he's just lost 5th place to Fanflow. And yeah, Blade's out of it. 5.5 seconds separates Blade from Bourbon. So unfortunately, Blade is not going to be looking for a third place position. Fanflo though, he has that 3-second track limit penalty though. He's got to gain some more ground. He's currently 1.4 seconds clear of Jack. So right now, Fanflo is still looking at 7th place, regardless at this moment. Anyways, Jacksta now has Cryptic in his sights. Cryptic still has yet to stop. Now, Jacksta's case, he would probably like to have that DRS in the detection point, so that way he could try to gain a little bit of ground. Unfortunately, he is right now losing a lot of time as Tadpole has crashed on the main straight. This could change things, maybe. No, maybe not. But Tadpole is out. No safety car because of that. So I was thinking maybe there could have been, but it's actually too late for one to be triggered. Well, Ads just sees himself into the penalty club, which one Tomb will help Valkyrie out, put herself in the 9th place. Blade now in pursuit, now being chased by, was chasing Fanflo, now has Cryptic in the way, as Fanflo gets around his teammate. And this would be beneficial for Fanflo if Cryptic can hold, now Cryptic can hold Blade and Jack back. This will get Fanflo into a position to break away from them. Oh, Cryptic's gone off. Not sure, did he get help, or did he lose it on his own? Either way, that puts Jack up in a 5th place, getting ahead of Blade. Now Fanflo 1.9 seconds ahead of Jack, and he is 2.5 seconds ahead of Blade. So Fanflo right now Fanflo needs to get about 0.7 of a second, and he could keep 5th place from Blade. And speaking of penalties, Jackson, by the way, 0.6 behind, 0.6 more loss to Bourbon. He'll be out of range of Bourbon for 2nd. We have about a lap and a half to go. Anything is possible. Just have to wait and see on what's going to happen here. But anyways, Flaw, by the way, he has a track limit penalty, so he's going to have to figure out something. Cryptic is finally pitted, and he, unfortunately, is in 12th place now. That's going to put Ads up in the 8th, Valkyrie in the 9th. George is back into the points now. Ads is actually ahead of Valkyrie. Whoa! Mega lag spike by Flaw. But anyways, we will be going into the final lap of this Grand Prix for the feature race. Flaw is having some lag issues, to say the least. Fanflo, by the way, 2.6 seconds clear of Blade, so Fanflo needs to pull at least another 4 more tenths of a second in order to keep that 5th place. We're in the final lap of this race, but Luke right now is going to be the Grand Prix winner. If Jackson can keep in tune with Bourbon and stay under 5 seconds, Jackson will be getting that lead. He'll be getting that 2nd place. Right now, 4.8 seconds. So he's gonna have to figure out something. Fanflo 2.1 seconds, 2.2 ahead of Blade. So Fanflo is going to lose 4th to Jack. The question is, can he keep 5th from Blade? That is the $20 million question there, to say the least. Now Bourbon, unfortunately, sprint race. He got a track limit penalty, which gave Jackson the win. and a speeding penalty is going to cost him the feature as they come down to cross the line. Bourbon will cross the line on track in first, but Luke will collect win number 41 in F2. He wins there. Bourbon second, but can it be? Yeah, he does by 1/10 of a second. Jackson gets third. Jack will take fourth, and Blade does keep within 1 second of Fanflo to get that 5th place. Fanflo is in 6th, Floss 7th, Ads is sitting in 8th, Valkyrie 9, and George will round out the points in 10th place. Track limits, track limit warnings, track limit penalties galore. My God, what a what a wild mess, to say the least, in that race. We're just waiting on a couple more to cross the line, and then we'll be good to go for this race. As we're just waiting on Mythic. There we go. Wow. Well, that is going to conclude the stream for... that's going to conclude the stream for today. So in a few hours, I will be on deck to be on F1 commentary in F1, which is going to be around the street, going to be hanging around on the Shanghai International Circuit in China. Now, I believe I may have a co-commentator, I may have Beatnik involved in this stream, so we'll have to figure that out. But win number 41 for Luke, Bourbon also getting P2, Jackson for 3rd, and crazily enough, that result, these results here, guess what? This is going to give Dams the constructor's lead. So Dams is the constructor's leaders now. So, I mean, look at this. So, basically, 44 points there. 44 to 22 for ART. And then you have 53. Yeah, so 53 to ART's 28. So, that means... So that's going to mean that, Dams will be the constructors' leaders unofficially by 25 points. So that ends the stream for F2. This is Ty and Ironwolf saying goodbye, and I will see you in a few hours for F1.